Folks, good evening. It is January 29th, 2025 at 8 p.m. in the evening on Eastern Standard Time. And you are with I-12GIA, the voice of experience. It's going to be a regular Wednesday podcast. We had a bunch of stuff today. We got some new things going on. We have myself, Instructor Fogg. You have the specialist up there in the upper corner, and you have Instructor Nomad on the bottom down there. We're not going to have the professor tonight. He's feeling kind of under the weather again, so he won't be with us. We got a whole bunch of weird shit going on to talk about, and we are going to start with. Oh, I almost forgot. This is a mature show, mature audiences only. It's rated such as on YouTube as 18 and above. It's not a good place for children or those with delicate sensibilities, because at some point you probably will be offended by something, and you need to be elsewhere. So we're going to go on with that, and we already entered the entertainment section of our show. Remember, our whole purpose of being here is to educate and to entertain. So we're going to hop into some education here, and I know, and we have the specialist is up there. He's ignoring all of us for some reason. I'm not sure.
No, I'm just doing some checking.
I don't know if he's like contemplating belly button lint or what's happening.
I got a belly button ring today.
Belly button lint or rent. All right, moving right along.
Don't be doing this shit.
I know that's really gay. So stop it.
It's flamboyant.
Yeah, fiesta, festive. Okay, you have a bunch of stuff on. Speaking of which, flamboyant and festive on Trantifa, which is an offshoot of Antifa, but apparently they're all trans. And you have some information and some sources and so forth. So
yeah, so
start us
let me
off.
say this. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 6 links to trans Tigua stuff.
Tifa.
Tifa. Can't use my own computer, so I'm either using the one at work or at the library. So, because they can actually capture you and tag you. So I'm not using my computer, but I did a little bit of research on these people, and so the border guard that was killed on Inauguration Day in Vermont, which was supposed to be one of my territories for the U.S. Marshal. Anyway, short story long. The German national that killed him was actually a guy that had transgendered to a woman. He was identifying as a woman. He was trans.
The guy from Germany.
Guy from Germany, yeah.
Okay.
The girl that actually fired the shots that got arrested is identifying as a guy who was from Washington State. Now, they're part of a group called Transtifa, and they're nationwide, and there are a lot of them. And the firearm that was used in the killing of the border agent was also used in the killing of all the people that have been killed have been older, almost elderly, in the middle part of the country, and one in California. So this happened right in my own backyard. It's an area that the marshal was assigning me to. So that's concerning. I mean, these people are dangerous. And my advice to anybody that's listening is to get yourself a good set of body armor and have a gun everywhere you go, because you never know what type of individual is going to pop up. And I see trainees around all the time. You can just tell by the look and by the way they carry themselves, and dangerous group. And I'm going to go with medical science on this. I'm going to say the transitioning drugs have a lot to do with what's going on. You know,
that's possible. All right, so you've got a guy that was a girl and a girl was a guy in the same car. They whacked a border patrol agent, and it's a group that's just doing random killings all over the country.
Yep.
Huh.
The same gun that killed the border agent was used to kill some elderly people. 2 in the middle of the country, 2 in the Midwest. I think Kansas was one state, and then the other one in California. So they think that the girl from Washington that's now trying to become a guy picked up the weapon on the way back over this way because it was used in California and then in the middle of the country and then here in Vermont to kill the border agent. So, and they were being surveilled for a while.
By
But
whom? Oh, the victims.
no, the Border Patrol.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. They were surveilling the Border Patrol agent for a while.
No, the Border Patrol knew about them and were surveilling them.
Surveilling them. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
The border agent initiated a traffic stop, and that's when he was shot and killed.
By himself, alone?
He was by himself. Well, he was by himself initially. Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's pretty fucked up. Okay.
Yep.
No, man, are you hearing anything about this in your circle?
No, I've heard of nothing in a parallel like the specialist is talking about, but I've heard where in other jurisdictions in Europe you have criminal gangs which are aligned with different things, but never on the LGBTQ plus bullshit that people put out there. I mean, that to me, the specialist theory about the drugs thing, possible. I just think criminality is the essence of it, and therefore, as soon or they need to be prescribed as a domestic terrorist organization and given the full resources of the law to put on them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coming. That's coming. Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Does anybody consider Kyle Higbee credible?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard anything negative.
Because he ran a big story tonight. Suspects in Vermont, Border Patrol agent killing connected to trans terror cell.
Okay.
Kyle Higbee ran that on Newsmax tonight.
Well, if you look at some of the school shootings that happened, there was one in Georgia. It was a trans individual identifying as a Pinocchio. I'm a real boy. You're not a real boy. So with the AR and an active shooter situation, it was some Christian school or something that happened about 6 months ago.
Yes.
There have been a number of spikes in that type of crime involving transgenders, but in all essence to them, I don't think you're going to see a bunch of drag queens and a fucking boa and an SBR going out looking for stuff. I think it's just
well, according to Higbee, they're organized now.
I know within gang culture, there are gay-only gangs that operate and are quite vicious in how they perpetrate crimes. I know within the incarcerated prison population and also within, any type of criminal enterprise, there's always an element of that. But it's the first time I've heard of it actually getting to the point where they target a federal officer. That was probably that was no accident.
So Higbee calls it trans terrorism.
Okay.
And he goes on to say there appears to be a trans terror cell operating in the United States involved in serial killings. The Vermont Customs and Border Patrol, U.S. Border Patrol officer shot dead on Inauguration Day was known to be the fourth victim of this terror group.
Wow.
Okay, that's definitely not good. There is a little bit more information on that. Apparently, there is some organization, and there's a group they're called Phoenix Activism. Okay, and apparently, what these knuckleheads are doing is they're using code words to identify ICE agents and roadblocks and where they're at, and organizations for protests, and it's anything involving new winter boots. Like for example, we're going to run over to the mall in Oviedo to pick up some new winter boots. Well, that means that head over in that direction for some kind of a protest or something.
Yes, yeah, warm, comfortable boots. Yeah,
Warm, comfortable boots, those kind of things. But
Yeah.
it's called Phoenix Activism, and they're actually apparently associated with Tifa or whatever these idiots' names are.
so you can go to the court documents, court online, and in shocking details in the court filing today, it affirms the earlier report by Higbee that the trans dual allegedly responsible for the deadly attack on the border agent allegedly used a gun purchased by a member of the ZIZ militant trans cell.
That's what I was wondering about. I heard of that. So that came up today too.
Yep.
The letter ZZ, and I tried searching it and couldn't find shit. So we're gonna have to see what's going on.
And there was a guy, his name is Curtis Lind, L-I-N-D, common spelling. He was able to shoot dead one of the trans assailants in Vallejo, California in 2022 as part of the terror group that impaled him with the sword and stabbed him in the face and body, causing him to lose an eye. The person and alleged ZIZ member, Amir D. Emma, shown more. So it was a guy that was transitioning to a female, but he stabbed a guy in California in the face. The guy shot and killed him. So, I mean, they are, according to court documents, they are real. They do exist.
Okay.
And the Seattle suspect arrested and killing the border officer applied for a marriage license with the suspect, Maxim. So he was a she. She was applied for a marriage license to be married to the guy, the German national, and was arrested.
For fuck's sake. There we go. That's the second time.
mean,
we've only been on for 12 minutes. That's the third time that's come up already.
No, it's getting bad. It's getting
Yeah,
bad, man. Just because you got Trump in office, don't think everything is peachy keeney and smelling like roses.
Oh, not even close.
Okay.
Ahead, Nomad.
Okay. I'm drinking a Belgian beer. It's not tranny fluid. Okay. It's not Budweiser. Okay. I don't care what fucking gender you identify as a non-binary pineapple or a fucking curvaceous banana. If you threaten me, you're going down. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I will reduce you to your base level of DNA because terrorism is terrorism anyway. If you want to rebrand it in the hope of getting some sort of discretion from the court system because you're just messed up and whatever, screw that. It's interesting to hear that it's morphed into that. It also means for me, to me, what I take from it is the psychology of the group is that it's tapping into a seam or a wedge of society that will regardlessly blindly follow and promote and emulate or hero worship anything that's on the fringe of society. I still can't believe that such a small percentage of the population has a disproportionate amount of influence over everything in this country. I don't see why that is even tolerated or allowed. I tell you honestly, just go down to Kershaw or go down to Khan Yunis in Gaza and try and be one of them and see how long you fucking last. Okay? You go to anywhere else in the world, even within more liberal-minded states or countries, even in Europe, you're not going to be allowed to do that. So it's to me, it's showing the way society has diluted itself down to a level where we've allowed it to happen. Now with Trump in office, it's going to stop. And so you're either good or you're bad, you're American or you're not. And it's coming down to base level. So these creatures, they will meet their match in relation to somebody else because what's happened is the public are tired of this nonsense.
Yeah.
And I mean, God rest the souls of those officers that were killed and hurt. But the sooner that they're wiped out, the better, and just move on. They're vermin. That's what they are. Vermin.
It's all yanced up as far as I'm concerned because it's not only with these people here, but like Trump is the miracle work as far as I'm concerned, but the world is still spinning off its axis. Okay. I got a thing I'm going to discuss later on. Nomad, this will be of particular interest to you. But like I said, the whole world is yanked up. I mean, there's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
I thought,
Okay.
it's going to take time for DHS and every thing to nail everything down. But in the meantime, we're all still in a whole lot of danger.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I have a question, and it's an educational counterpoint. What the fuck is yinced up? Is that a Boston thing?
No man should know what it means. No man, tell him what it means.
Oh, what is yinced up?
It means don't ask questions that the specialist knows the answer to and make him more intellectual than he actually is.
No.
Well,
So
I promised my friend Liz that I would clean up my act.
there it is.
you
So
said that
Liz,
last
forgive
week.
me.
You
I'm
said
just gonna
that
say
last
it.
week.
I'm just going to say it once. Yitz is the Yiddish word for fuck. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. See now, we just educate. Remember, entertain and educate. So we just educate.
Yeah, well, it is, but it also means, speaking of transgenderism, we know originally what schmuck used to mean. Remember?
Schmuck was the cousin of Yetz.
Yes, but schmuck was the part that you snipped off when you got, Yeah.
Ah.
So,
Okay, that's probably more education. Okay, children. That's the educational portion of our show is over with. So
well, my learned friend up on the corner, the specialist,
Yeah.
he is outdoing himself already tonight. He even
really
start
is.
if I see it next week that he's got these shoulder pads with some sort of patches on the end of them and he's wearing tweed, I'm joining MSNBC because
I know.
it's gone. He's starting to become intellectual, and now he's going
He
to start growing
is.
a fucking beard, and
Yeah.
it'll be mixed up between the sheriff of fucking Nottingham and
Yeah.
the guy who says, "Stay thirsty, my friend." You're not
Right.
fucking.
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen right now, right? And
I don't have to take this abuse. I don't get paid enough.
I just hope there's no knee pads involved. Is what we have to watch out for. Too.
I do have knee pads if we need them.
There's a term in biology called peristalsis.
Yeah.
And it involves swallowing. I'm just going to stop.
Yeah. That should keep your friend Liz happy with all. Okay.
Okay. Here's the last question. How much are you paying that lady to be your friend? I mean, come on, right? All right. We've wasted 17 minutes.
We have.
Right? I'm just saying. Right.
Okay. All right. For fuck's sake.
Well done, specialist. You're on the road, buddy.
For Vien's sake, not Vien's sake. Come on. I try to teach you guys, and it's just you're like a duck. It's like you're just letting the water roll off.
Yep.
You're not absorbing anything.
Nope. That's not possible.
Not getting in there, buddy. Not getting in there.
Okay,
I'm trying.
Let's go to the RFK hearings. Speaking of that subject came up in the hearings today about him discussing whether or not psychotropic drugs were involved in school shootings.
Yeah.
And of course, the Democrats, no, that's not possible. That'll never happen. You know, what the fuck are you talking about? So discuss. Who wants to go first?
I watched the whole thing. It was nauseating.
I'm sorry, Randy.
When the
I'm sorry,
Democrats
specialist.
spoke, it was nauseating. I had to leave the room.
It really was. That explains why you're having a difficult time tonight, specialist.
I never had so much diarrhea in my life.
I think one of the best examples of absolutely nothing the Democrats have to offer was Bernie Sanders. Mm-hmm. He was incredible. He was trying to trap him with selling something that he was charging $26 to parents for something that was supposed to be in opposition to his personal beliefs. But it was about, listen, it was a whole load of nothing, and nothing was piled out. The Democrats did exactly as they do every single time. They ended up looking silly, and they ended up making him look better because he was intellectual. He didn't get annoyed. He got rattled, but he didn't get annoyed at them. Mm-hmm. And it just showed that there's nothing new in the Democrat side in relation to any of these hearings. It's just the same old playbook all over again. I mean, it was boring. It was boring, which is good. Which is good.
You know, it's almost like they're intentionally trying to make people hate them. I mean, every time one of them opens their mouth, it just gets worse and worse, man.
But it's the same people open their mouth all the time. It's the
Chuck
same.
Chuck Schumer's the absolute worst.
You know, did you hear what happened? Chuck Schumer got a pen from Trump. He was standing at one of the signs.
I saw that. I saw that.
And he sold it.
Did he really? Wow.
So that just tells you it's the equivalent of. Do you remember Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah. Or when she ripped up the
and then she ripped up the speech, which is the most disrespectful thing you can do in the House. So it was when she got a copy of the speech when she was Speaker of the House. But the bottom line is the same old tired, worn out characters are being rolled out day in, day out with the same type of rhetoric. People are tired of it. So people have no interest in it. If you look at the opposite to what was that, look at the new White House press secretary.
Oh, holy crap.
Man, I love her. She is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And she was the total opposite. People were watching her and enjoying the media getting roasted and running out of questions, you know. So all these hearings are just there to tick the box. We had the hearing. It's all going to be okay. It's just if we use this properly, we'll solidify the base and bring in some new people because people are just tired of the same old rhetoric all the time. It didn't serve any purpose.
Let me say this. There are three types of people. You got senators, they're Jewish, and they all voted to block a bill that would sanction the ICC for the disproportionate treatment of Israel. They're embarrassment to the Jewish community. And I'm going to name them off. Adam Schiff, Democrat, California, should be in jail for the Russia hoax.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont, Nomad was just so eloquently discussing him. I don't think if he knows if he's coming or going. Brian Schatz.
Yeah.
I took a Schatz today, Democrat from Hawaii, cousin of Macy Hirono.
Okay.
Chuck Schumer, Democrat, New York. Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat, Minnesota. Jackie Rosen, Democrat, Nevada. John Ossoff, Democrat, Georgia, the movie star that lived in California but got elected to the Georgia Senate. Remember him?
No.
Michael Bennett, Democrat, Colorado. Richard Blumenthal, he's the stolen valid dude from Connecticut. And lastly, Ron Wyden, doesn't know whether he's Jewish, Irish, or Turkish. I don't know. Anyway, all scumbags, all dirtbags, all up for themselves.
Yeah,
I'm done.
that's nothing unusual about that. So, while we're on the subject of appointees, the new press secretary, man, she should have raised the red skull and crossbones, man. She was taking no prisoners.
No. Again, from right down the street from my backyard. Her and I are friends on Facebook. Yeah.
Are you really? Wow, good for you, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, she did a great job. It's so refreshing. Pete Hegseth, let's talk about him for a minute. He went after
He's hammering it out of the park. Man. Yeah, he revoked the security detail. Yeah.
Removed his
security clearance is gone. Yeah.
Last I heard, he's going after Tim Walz too for the whole stolen valor thing.
Yeah,
he's going for the whole stolen
Tim Walz.
Yeah,
the
vice president or whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah, he said he was a sergeant.
Oh, I thought you meant I knew our Walz.
No. The vice president.
You mean Tampon Tim.
Right, Tampon Tim. Whatever, whatever his name is. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, okay. If you call them by their proper name, I'll know who they are.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, for stolen valor, the whole sergeant in the army, whatever the fuck he said he was and wasn't.
Yeah, as he should.
Since we're talking about this is completely off topic and it's okay because it's gossip, which I mean, we got to do a little bit of that occasionally. There's a rumor floating around. Well, actually, there's a couple of rumors floating around involving the Obamas. One of which is Jennifer Aniston is fucking Barack, which I can't imagine that at all, and that's causing problems with his marriage to Big Mike. Okay, so another rumor is that Big Mike was supposed to run for president instead of Kamala Harris, and Biden put the nix on that. So as a result, since the Obama marriage is just smoke and mirrors for politics, since their political careers are pretty much crashing like blue ice out of an airplane, there's no reason for them to be married anymore. So that's why they're getting a divorce now. It has nothing to do with poor Jennifer Aniston. I don't know who she got wrapped up in that, but it looks like Barack and Big Mike are parting the ways. You guys,
I can say, with all honesty, it doesn't break my heart.
I'm glad.
Can I say one more thing?
One more thing.
Okay. I happen to believe the Jennifer Aniston story.
Really?
Yeah, because there's a saying out there. Once you go black, come back. All right? And I've heard rumors that.
But he's gay.
Huh?
Barry's gay.
I think he goes both ways.
Oh, I guess that could be, yeah.
I think he goes both ways. I think I'd classify him as bi. Because he has that lisp when he talks, but it's kind of a maley lisp.
More beer.
Yeah. so hey, specialist, does I-12 have attorneys on call? Because we're probably going to get sued.
Like what?
Here's the thing. Honestly,
does he have a frozen turkey?
No.
It's not. Well, it involves gobble gobble. But I tell you, here's the thing. It's of no relevance to anybody. Doesn't matter. I mean, if you ask Jennifer Aniston, we're just friends, pardon the pun, right? But yeah. But thank you, buddy. I appreciate that because it went over that guy's head. Honestly, really, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Because they're relevant. It's the next presidential. So you're going to see Big Mike making moves now for the House.
Yes.
You see?
That could be.
And you're going to see Oprah Winfrey backing up as well, right? So you're going to see all the usual characters coming out, right? So, but here's the interesting dynamic now. Between the last election and the next election, the whole P. Diddy thing is going to be in the press. And a whole lot of stuff. The Epstein stuff is coming out now. So there's going to be a couple of Democrats running for the hills. And some of these media moguls and celebrities, their silence is deafening. And they've been some of the biggest Democrat supporters. When you lock up Mendez today for 11 years.
No shit.
Right? Yeah. So
that brought a little, that brought joy to my heart. Because here's a guy,
he's going to
go to the Dominican Republic to yang 12-year-old prostitutes, okay? And he got charged with it once and he beat it, okay? So when I heard he got 11 years today, I just about jumped out of my truck and did a backflip in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, but he won't serve 11. He won't serve 11 at all.
Oh, yeah, it's a federal court, yeah. Truth in sentencing, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure those gold bars will come in handy somewhere.
FBI has them.
Yeah. Anyway, honestly, so far what we've been talking about has been about gay activists hitting federal officers.
Yeah.
The Obama marriage.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders sounding like the aardvark from the Pink Panther show going back in the 70s. And so far, most of those creatures we've been discussing, they're irrelevant. They're not relevant right now. We need to focus on what's happening, which is Trump keeping his word and his election promises. And the Democrat cities are in absolute panic right now. And the media is in panic because it hasn't got any oxygen to light the fires that were there. And Democrats are licking their wounds. So the people who are watching MSLDC, right, LSD, are now back in their basements with their mom because they can't afford a Starbucks because they were saying equal rights for cisgenders and other shit. Now it's $15 minimum wage. So the Starbucks that they were buying 4 or 5 times a day, they can afford it now once a month, like a period. So the money that supported these activists is gone. And when you have 10% of the federal workers looking to take up Trump's offer for early buyout and retirement, the whole base of the Democratic Party is in peril right now. And the head of the Democratic Party and the heads of it are so removed from reality now. It's like trying to sell fire insurance in California at this moment in time.
Hey, no man, didn't the courts put a stop to the buyout today?
They put a temporary halt on it, but it can still get around it because the what is it, the OMB, whatever it is, they've got a regulation where they can select, they can tell you if you there's an option that Trump has that he probably will play, and the option is if you don't want to take retirement, that's fine. I'm going to reassign you to the fucking border. So you've got
Yeah.
2 weeks to pack up your shit and go. And guess what? You'll vote with your feet and you'll go. I have a buddy working in SpaceX and another guy working in NASA. They're basically next door to each other, Blue Origin and NASA, right? And all hiring has stopped, but they're told it won't be forever. It'll be for about 6 weeks. So, so it's not going to be a long-term thing. It's just to shake the tree a little bit. And has anybody noticed the timing of this thing?
Yeah.
Tax season.
Tax season. Yep. Sure enough.
So
Let's continue.
Yeah.
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
Let's go ahead and do our 5-minute break real quick, and we will continue this discussion when we come back in about 5 minutes, folks. So get some beer or whatever else you're. Okay, folks, and we are back with I-12 GIA, the voice of experience. Should have everybody back on here. I had a question, fellas. What do you guys think about President Trump's activities on the border? Speaking of keeping promises, what do you have? That's not a biscuit?
No, in honor of Trump's border policy, I'm having a Taco Bell
Ah, nice.
because
You won't have to do a $300 like
Remember the
co-op
lot, Chet?
claims.
Remember what happened when I had a Taco Bell?
Yeah, you exploded.
well, let's not go there, right? But all I'm saying is that there's no pants that can deal with the ferocious pressure that's generated by the bowel movement of a specialist when he has a Taco Bell.
I know.
It is to the point of where 1,000 Mile North tape wouldn't keep the shit in, right? It's
explosive diarrhea, I think. Is
for our dear listeners, when you meet this creature in person, you will understand what I'm saying to you, right? Keep your children within reach, because when he has a Taco Bell, it's Armageddon. That's all I'm going to say. Armageddon, right?
Yes.
It's Armageddon. But going back to Trump, have you seen what he did? Not just the immigration thing. Did you see? Remember I was telling you last week, watch Gitmo.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he's putting 30,000 illegal immigrants into Camp Delta.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think that's why Catherine Heritage.
So the Gulf of America. You see how it's all.
Yeah. It's all coming together. Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is. That's pretty impressive, actually.
Really
yeah, he's Well, Tom Homan just declared open warfare on the cartels, especially after this incident with the little island in the middle of the Rio Grande there.
Yeah,
they have not determined the ownership of that land. So Homan said if it's determined the United States owns it, they're going to go get them, and then they're going to destroy that so they can't go there anymore. But I want to see what happens the first time a U.S. soldier or a Border Patrol agent or a Texas DPS shoots and kills a Mexican. I want to see what happens. Then I'll be the judge of whether or not Trump's border policy is going to work.
Well, okay. I think the one thing that will be talked about and come front and center is that Mexico is a narco state. It always has been. It's run by the cartel.
Yes. Yeah, without a doubt.
So what you're effectively doing is, it's like Biden gave the Taliban a country to run terrorism on. The cartels have been running a narco state for the last 35, 40 years on our southern border. So he's effectively running a counterinsurgency campaign. It's no longer the war on drugs. It's counterterrorism. It's defense of national security. So you're going to have a war footing, a combat mindset to deal with this. No one's ever taken it seriously before. So the governments successively, including the present idiot female that's in charge of Mexico, they're all owned and bought and paid for. So you can't take them. I know, Fog, you did too as well. I know you did, Specialist, as well. I worked with some federales that were down there, and there's a guy. He just put war on a cartel as well. He's been doing it for the last number of years. He's a former Mexican Marine. He's the Marina Loco. He's crazy. He has a band almost like the Expendables, and they're taking guys out on their own. And he declared war on them, and they thought he was dead a few years ago, and he just resurfaced, and he's out doing his shit again. So I also talked to a guy earlier in the week, and he said a bunch of 75th Ranger decided to go for a bit of a jolly, and they're going off to Grenada to hang out there for a while.
Really, that's interesting.
And they're going back into Panama, and they're going to walk their way back up. So I wonder what we're going to see when you see our reapers and our drone programs flying over certain territories now, because the Gulf of America is fair game. So I think what you're going to see is that you're going to see Trump use the National Guard as a home defense, and the U.S. military is going to war on these things. They have to go to war on these guys. So I think it's long overdue, and the public are going to be behind it, even though that may not support it in principle. Are going to see the value of this in the long term. But I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out, because we have a military now that's all staffed by veterans of the global war on terror, and they're all familiar with counterinsurgency operations. This is like they've been living this for the last 20 years, so it's not going to be nothing that they haven't already done. They know exactly what they're doing. The Mexican military is unfortunately, well, we'll see what happens.
I personally wouldn't mind seeing the body count pile up.
Yeah, well, it's like everything else, though.
It's my own opinion. Shit's been going on.
It's the politicians causing this shit, though.
I'm sorry, cuck has been going on way too long, and it needs to be dealt with. It needs to be dealt with swiftly and firmly. In the background, my TV, the Secretary of Defense is on TV now with Jesse Waters. I guess Europe's trying to devise a plan to stop Trump from taking Greenland. So I don't know if there's going to be a move there, but you know what? God bless him. I'm glad he's back in office. But like I said at the beginning of the program, we're not out of the woods yet.
So, no, not even close. It's only going to get worse. This has just started.
You can see I'm having my Taco Bell. It's not looking good, fellas.
Brother, nobody eats Taco Bell with a fork and a knife, especially in the European version. You're supposed to just grab it with both hands and slam it. But you are cultured. You are a cultured individual, though. So
there you go.
Pass.
Yeah.
From
eat your greens, right? Yeah. Listen, the military now.
There better not be cheese on that meat.
If you have cheese on the meat, it's called an infection, and you're supposed to go see a doctor.
Don't make me call the rabbi on you.
Moving right along.
Anyway, speaking of which, the U.S. military now would have something to do.
Yeah.
And Homeland Security is going to be a term that is going to mean something.
Hey, what do you think of our Homeland Security Director? She was out there with a vest and everything else. I think she even had a gun on. She was out there with the troops yesterday rounding these people up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's the best recruitment for any
I want to see
RFK
Jr. confirmed. They swore in
they will.
Sean
they
Duffy
will.
today.
They will.
I want to see this lady confirmed. She deserves it. She's a colonel in the reserves, and they're already talking shit about her. If she's as bad as the Democrats say, why is she a colonel with a compartmentalized sensitive information with a TS clearance? Okay, her clearance would have been revoked. All right.
What about that military? I think it was probably Navy, which is not surprising anyway, because it's full of seamen. But just saying, that transgender thing that was once a man is now an ugly woman, and it was a spokesman for whatever the hell it was. They've all disappeared.
That was Rachel Levine. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was wearing an army uniform, a full admiral.
Oh,
never served a day in the U.S. military.
Yeah. But
how does that happen?
Well, heck, it's because of the culture at the time. The military has changed overnight back to what it used to be, right? And the military now have something to do. They've got some purpose again, which is more valuable than any political currency. There's nothing worse than an old soldier not having nothing to do. There's nothing worse than that. Yeah. So those same guys that were in combat with us are now in charge of private security, training companies, and have direct living live links to those that are a bit younger in years, but they have a living connection. So we have now an opportunity in this country to really defend it in lots of ways.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fantastic opportunity, and I think Trump has tapped into that.
Mhm. Does anybody have any thoughts on the nuclear training going on in New York City right now?
I don't
Nuclear
know.
event training, I guess I should say.
I don't know enough about it.
So I think that based on my past experiences and having been part of that team, I think it has to deal with dirty bombs.
Okay. So it's just training for an event, basically. Just deployment training
Preparation
and
more than anything
preparation.
else.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing specific or
No.
whatever. Of course, you never know anymore. I mean, hell, they lied to us about the drones apparently.
Yeah, I was part of that team for 10 years. Well,
Yeah.
it came out last night that Caroline Levitt brought it out that the drones were part of an FAA surveillance
Wow.
program.
Of something, research of something.
Research.
Yeah. Right.
But when she didn't give any specifics other than they were part of the an FAA research program. So
Right. Well, Biden said they
she
knew
did
nothing
say
about 'em.
some of them were FAA drones, some of them were private drones that wanted to get in on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Some
Yeah,
of them
okay.
were hobbyists that wanted to get in on it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there weren't all FAA drones, but just the fact that the Biden administration silenced it up like nothing was going on, that people were imagining things,
Mhm.
and of course, nobody's getting any information. So right now they think it's spy balloon, China,
Oh yeah, who knows? As always. Okay.
I'm going to go on the record as I'm saying it right now. I'm thinking they thought it was going to influence the election.
That's possible. I mean, but why do you say that though?
Because nobody was getting any information. They were trying to put the fear factor into everybody. Go back to 20. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. COVID didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The loan program failed miserably, threw us in debt. 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump didn't work. I mean, it's like they had to go to Taco Bell, eat at Taco Bell, right? Take a dump, throw it against the wall, and see if it's stuck. Anything, anything in the book that would work in their favor. You know what I'm saying? But none of it worked. People were fortunately enough, people were smart enough to see through everything that was going on.
You might be onto something, because now they're trying to scaremonger people about this federal freeze and direct payments being done. So that they're trying to scare people who may have supported Trump into saying your support now means that you're not going to get your money. And that's not true.
They're using Medicaid and this
Medicare, all
Medicaid,
that,
Medicare, and
SSDI.
Yeah.
Which Caroline Levitt said yesterday ain't happening.
Ain't happening. Right.
So
okay, all right, folks. We're going to do something a little different to our shows. We're going to have an addition here for the specialist. He's going to get the last 10 minutes or so to discuss things of importance, and there's going to be a bit of a training segment. So this is going to be his first foray into that arena for our show tonight. I think you're going to do cat turn to start us off.
Yeah.
Well, it's all yours, buddy.
I'm going to say that till the end.
This is the end.
What I want to discuss first is, and Nomad, you're going to appreciate this.
Are you telling me?
In New Hampshire here.
Okay, buddy.
It's the bill's coming up Monday for a vote. It's HB 555.
Okay.
And what HB 555 does, right now, kids in school are taught about the Holocaust. But what this HB 555 does is add in the Palestinian genocide in addition to the Holocaust.
No way.
Which is going to breed nothing but hate and contempt for Jews. And nomad, let's face it, we're hated all over the world.
World, I know
Okay?
that. I know that.
People would just as soon slit our throats. I've been, Jews have been hated since the state of Israel was created.
Even
Okay.
before.
And Mossad was on the front lines of that battle. And it's still being fought today. Okay. Without me going into too much detail. But anyway, so I wrote this nice letter to the committee that's going to hear this bill and our governor, telling them it was a bad idea because it's only going to breed more hate and contempt towards Jewish people. And take a school-age kid, you're telling them about how evil the Holocaust was. Six plus million people were killed by the Nazis. But then you want to take October 7th, Israel defending itself, and compare it to the Holocaust? Come on, give me a break, man. That just don't work. Go ahead.
Can I interject? Did any of you, and not take away from your point, did any of you see the stage management of the releases of the 4 female soldiers?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see what weapons the Palestinians had?
Yep.
Israeli X-95 Tavors.
Yep.
Someone called me and said, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing?" I go, "What are you looking at?" So I looked at it live and I went, "Shit."
Yep.
They deliberately used them, giving the 2 fingers to IDF and everything else.
Propaganda, yeah.
But a lot of stuff, and some of the stuff written on the banners behind them, this thing isn't over. And what you're talking about right now, the Palestinians are fighting the battles right here on our own home because they're influencing colleges, kids in schools, and this is how important that bill is, 555. But also, in particularly, they've desensitized people. If you say 6 million, 6 million now, and a number to our generation is a lot. 6 million equate to 6 million people losing their lives and being extinguished in horrific circumstances. 6 million to a generation now means 6 million hits on Instagram or YouTube. They have a different way of measuring what 6 million is. So they have no idea of the consequences of actions. So some of the best language of law is lost upon those that hear it, because law is written for people who practice law. It's deliberately written in a language that is removed from the normal vernacular. It is paying homage to some of the Magna Carta and English common law where it began. But ultimately, law is written for those that practice it, not people who can interpret it. Because if you hold the information, you hold the power of the law, and it takes it away from the people. So what I'm coming to is, your bill is very important. That letter is extremely important, but we have to counter it in other ways as well, which is, you're talking about relating it in terms that kids will understand today, not necessarily through the bit, because the people who make the laws are already old in the eyes of a generation that's going to have to live through those laws. Once a law is passed, it can take 2 generations for the country or the area to get used to it. It's just another law in the books. But your letter is so important that it has to be fought on every factor. We got to fight this on every front. Every front.
But we're already seeing this, like in New York City at Columbia University, and they want to take that crap that's going on down there and bring it up here to the state of New Hampshire, and Liz even called the the New Hampshire Republican Committee to talk to him about this. You know what they said to her? This doesn't concern us. We got bigger fish to fry. So they don't even want to help us out with this issue.
Wow.
So it's only us street level Jews that right now that are fighting this battle. She did a letter writing thing. She got a lot of people to do it. I wrote a letter today. I'm talking about it on the show tonight. She's going to talk about it on her show. Hopefully we'll get enough people to write letters to the governor and these state reps. And I got friends of the state reps to crush this thing, before it gets off the ground. Because I can see it leading to really, really bad things happening.
Does need more attention.
Nope.
You want to continue on with this, or do you want to move into your training?
Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is a de facto training session. Now, I'm going to back up. It's not a training session. It's a show and tell, because I'm a certified stop the bleed instructor. I believe, Chet, you are too. If anybody wants to take this course to learn how to use this device, it's a Cat 10 tourniquet. Sign up at the email on the bottom of the website. We can do the class with you. We can do it virtual or in person. But this is not really a training session. It's a show and tell, but this is the road that we're headed down. And so tonight we start with different show and tell / potential training. So this is what we call a Cat 10 tourniquet. Chet knows what it is. No man knows what it is. Most of us operators carry two. One up, but we either wear them up here on our vest or down on our belts. I got two. The one that doesn't have a marking is mine and mine alone. The other one that I carry has a red Q on it. That's for John Q. Public. So once that one tourniquet is gone, anybody else that needs one is screwed, because this last one that doesn't have a marking on it is for me. Now, I've transitioned, before I show you how this works, I've transitioned to the drop-down leg holster.
Mm-hmm.
You guys should know what I'm talking about. But they had a fancy one. So the strap is actually a tourniquet.
Mm-hmm.
So my holster is actually secure with a tourniquet. So I can actually just go boom and tighten it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the left side of my belt also has a strap on my left thigh. Call it the tube protector, and that's a tourniquet too. So all I got to do is tighten that down. So this is for my upper extremities. And the way this works, I'll take it out and demonstrate it for you. You just pull the tourniquet out of the case like this. So here's the case. All right. You pull the tourniquet out of the case like this. And what you do is you open it up like so. When I was with the sheriff's office, the marshals came in to us. We had to learn how to put them on both extremities with one hand in case you were shot. And you could only use one hand. So basically what you do is the wound is down here. You're bleeding, arterial bleed down here. You're going to want to put it up above the wound. And you're going to tighten it up like so. I don't want to really tighten it down and crank it down because I don't want to cut off my blood supply. But you tighten it down. And then what you do is this little stick that you see here, you start twisting and twisting and twisting. And it's going to tighten this bad boy down to the point where you're going to be in so much pain. You can watch training videos of it. You're going to be in so much pain, you're going to be crying out. But that's a good thing, because the tighter it is, the more efficient it's going to be and stop the bleeding. You can use them for legs. Like I said, I personally don't, because I get the straps on my holster on the other side that I can just strap down and use those as tourniquets. So basically this one here I wear on my vest, and this is for my upper extremities. They're not cheap, but you know what? For the short money, it's worth the investment. Everybody should have one in their car or in their bag or whatever you're carrying around. Everybody needs to have one. These are a lifesaver. I know I bought one of our partners, Lee, some of them, and so they're definitely a worthwhile tool to have. I wouldn't be without one. So, like I said, if you want formal training on these things and you want to buy them, You can go to the email here that's flashing across the bottom and sign up for the Stop the Bleed classes. It'll either be Chet, myself, or Lee Schwartzberg that'll teach you. So this is the direction that we're headed. Next week, it'll be something else. Anybody got any questions on these? I just
No,
talked
good,
about.
buddy.
Feel free to reach out.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Well, that's the first time we've done this. We'll tune up some technical issues and see if we can get some stuff sorted out with that. But it's pretty good though in general. Okay, folks, we're at our hour. It's been kind of interesting tonight. It's kind of a weird night. I think it has to do with the planetary alignments and stuff that's going on right now. So true.
Yeah, I think specialist planet is Uranus.
Oh my God! See,
I think
people, see what I got to put up with.
Well, it could be worse. It could be Pluto got kicked out of the universe, but then brought back.
Yeah.
So I mean, you should, small miracles, small miracles.
Uranus. I've been called worse. I just want to get enough.
You should be glad you're an asteroid instead of a hemorrhoid.
I thought, I actually thought you were going to say I should be flattered.
All right, you filthy animals. we can go ahead and, as I said earlier, I'm going to find out how to translate for fuck's sake in Latin, and I'm going to get a tattoo to that effect because that's my phrase for the year so far. All right,
well, I'll second that motion.
Okay, sounds like maybe I'll get matching tattoos.
And the beauty is, if it's not
well,
covered
you can't.
in blood,
You guys can't do that. Actually, sorry.
If it's not covered in blood, it goes back together, and you can use it again.
Okay. All right. Who wants to say goodbye first? No, the specialist. You go first.
All right. God bless the United States, Israel. Everybody that's died for our freedoms. Shout out to the professor who couldn't be with us tonight. Our other partner, Lee. It's always a pleasure being with my brothers. Love you all.
Yep. All right. Nomad, go ahead, buddy.
Good night.
Good night. Okay. And for me, keep the ones. Yeah. Well, that's makes sense. Hey, it's short and sweet, kind of like him, because he's magically delicious.
Compact is the word. Compact.
There you go. Oh, for fuck's sake! All right,
You're compacted from that Taco Bell, aren't you?
I'm telling you, there's something moving right now. I can feel it. You know that KFC killed the fucking chicken. They've got another brand now called Juicy, and they're basically they're pre-packaged meals. You can't change any of the ingredients on it. I had one yesterday, and I don't know where they got these pickles from, but it came out the same way it went in. That's all I'm going to say.
Interesting. Non-digestible, kind of like corn then. All right. Anyway, moving right along. As we said, our goal is to educate and entertain, and hopefully we did a little of both tonight, but I'm not really sure. So I guess we'll wait to see if we have Golden Globes in our futures or whatever awards there is for these kind of things. Emmys. Yeah. Really, Sarah's, whatever. Keep the ones that you love close. Give them a big hug and be prepared to self-rescue because there may or may not be anybody coming to help. So if you like us, if you see our smiling faces here and you appreciate what we do, go to YouTube and like and subscribe and all that stuff. And you know how to do all that. And it keeps us going. I'd like to thank our sponsors, which is I-12GIA and Peace of Mind Training as always. So on that happy note, fellas, we will see you next Wednesday. And good night, folks.
Take care. Thank you.
Let me find my little thing here to what? Where's my? I can't find my button. No. Hold on. Sorry, folks. Where'd it go? It disappeared. Oh, there it is. Okay.